Hello everyone and welcome to Pillar Chase 2. They just added, well they didn't just add Vita Mimic, but they added Vita Mimic. They've added animations for humans, more stuff. We'll run over Vita Mimic real quick. It has Elder Ascension, which basically is like a way to stealth up on people. So it allows you to be extra stealthy. Animalistic Instinct, which highlights players and lets you give them bleed, which deals damage and lets you see them through walls. It seems relatively fast, good stamina, good speed, low damage, similar in vein to Niloticus, I guess. But its damage increases the more it gets kills, and if it's hitting someone who's by themselves. So you really want to, it seems based off reading, that you want to be stealthy, you want to sneak up on people, and then you want to pick them off. You don't want to be attacking groups of people. They've added a couple of other things as well. I thought I went through a whole rundown, but I wasn't recording. So during this game, I'll explain some of the other stuff they added. They added animation packs. So each pack gives you different idle, walking, and running animation. They added, I believe they added stats. You can see your stats for monsters and as a human. You won't have any pre-existing stats if this is the first time you're playing since that update. Let's see, what else happened? I think that's it for additions. There's some patch notes with some changes. Niloticus stamina was increased, but movement speed was decreased. I guess danger vision was changed. Just finding that one out. Monster no longer is highlighted, so you can't tell who the monster is. Although you shouldn't necessarily have to. But you do get to see where they are still, which is nice. Yeah, Niloticus has lower movement speed but higher stamina, and the leap goes further, but there's more end lag on it. Springtrap has less stamina. Venta doesn't basically make you explode upon use. It doesn't reduce your stamina, but it disorientates you and messes with your view. Yeah, it disorientates you, messes with your view, makes it not impossible to escape though, like it used to, because old Venta made you explode. It basically made it so you couldn't escape. Which was really annoying. Phantom Walk also received a change. Kinda lame. Phantom Walk also received a change. I can check now. So you get less stamina, but its end lag is reduced by 50%, so you can act faster out of it now. But the cooldown was increased, and then MX also got a damage reduction. But in basically every other way, you kinda, it wasn't so bad what MX got. He got a damage reduction, but he's not really halted all that much in any other way. But that being said, I suppose I'll just have to meet back with you all when we get to see the mimic in action. Okay, we got the mimic. Looks like in the forest map. Yeah, this is a pretty thematic map, I think. So I'm not sure how best to fight this. Like how best to go against this thing. It seems like you want to stick together. Or at least stick with one buddy. It seems like you want to have a partner, a friend, a book buddy. So it makes me wonder what constitutes as alone. Like, what is the radius? You have to be, how close do you have to be to someone to no longer be alone? So this person might not have a lot of experience as this monster, or maybe the monster just is pretty difficult to perform with. I do not know. But as of now, I mean, there's still a good chunk of time left. It could definitely still be cold, but there's quite a few of us remaining. About half the server, half the player population, or human population isn't okay, not anymore. I lied. Gonna run away from that one. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know they were next to me. That the ability to like stealth is what really makes you strong. So based off that game, it seems like what really worked against me was the stealth aspect of it. The fact that I could not hear where the monster was, I feel made it a lot harder to deal with. So there's something we've learned. How are you supposed to eat me without a mouth? Question mark? I'm confused. Again, it's probably a reference I don't know. Oh, this is a new map. I forgot they added this map. I have never played on this map. I know it has no objectives though. That's not very epic. That's not very epic. I'm not having fun anymore. I want my mommy. I'm gonna stay with these people. It looks like, you know, they know what they're doing. This is what, Pal from Playtime with Percy? That's pretty cool. Oh, that's the starting room.
Oh my goodness, run!
That's a person with voice chat. I'm just gonna keep, I guess, walking around and look for any cool secrets or anything like that. I was gonna say that's the chase music. Okay. This person not performing very well, but it might just be the map. And that might be part of the reason why they're not performing super well. I don't know. This map does seem a little difficult. A lot of walls. That can really make a map super hard for monsters. Just the amount of walls in it. Because if there's walls, it's easy to lose people unless you have a tracking ability. But like Niloticus, I would see struggling on this map a lot as well, simply because of the fact that there's so much space. It's very open, but at the same time has so many walls, so you could dodge traps relatively easy. So like EXE would struggle, Niloticus would struggle because of that. I think this could be a really good Vapor map, or like Oni, WYST, people who can track very well. Vapor with the skeleton, with the spotter skull minions, just in the map where you teleport to you. I think that would be really good. Well, there's more people dropping now, which is good. But this map does seem like it would be hard for some monsters. Unfortunately, not able to get a lot of data from this match though, like on a good way to play this monster, because I'm gonna be next. Hopefully it's solo. I like getting solo games in when I'm learning a monster, because it kind of helps show like it's better to learn in solo than in a double monster game. I mean, alternatively, I wouldn't mind. Collectathon's not bad. Stronghold is a little different, but if you're playing double monster and you're learning a monster, you could just get carried by someone else. But it is solo. So I'm thinking stealth is really important, so I'm hoping for a good stealth map. Because that seems to be your most important thing. You don't get natural tracking of any sort, which is unfortunate. However, you do get tracking, you just have to apply it. So I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can get some really good early game tracking, hunt people down, wipe them out. Let's see how it goes. Why are you eating me though? What'd I do to deserve this? Okay. I'm not faster than a player. Bro just left. That's crazy. I couldn't attack. I'm not stealthing at all. Yeah, I feel so weak. I'm gonna swap to an easier target. I feel very weak. You really need to get early kills to actually be able to do anything. You're a snowball monster. You're not very strong until later into the game. But now that I'm at max damage, I might actually be able to get some work done. It's hard to see if I'm gonna hit when I'm invisible, or at least that's an issue I'm having. Okay. Right off the bat, initial reaction, kind of meh. I don't know. I like the stealth idea, but having it be a 30-second cooldown is really tough to work with. Also, like, if you don't kill people, you're just so weak. Which I think is bad. Like, you're so weak. I felt like I wasn't getting anything done. Granted, I might not have been using my abilities very well. I'm not entirely sure. That could have just been completely my fault, but it just did not feel good until I was hitting for 30. That also could have just been a bad map. I don't know. So, I'll see you all next time. You know, the Mimic is endgame. Welcome back, everybody. I am next as the killer. Or not killer, monster. Sorry, Dead by Daylight on my brain because of the FNAF collab announcement. Besides the point, we're gonna do another solo monster game. Last time I played, last game, I felt very, very weak. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a better start. I really think you need to start as good as possible because you're a snowball. Once you get your damage up, the game becomes much easier. But until then, you're just going to struggle and struggle and struggle. So, I'm going to see if we can head off to an early start. This person is bleeding. Okay, that's nice. That's good. There's also less people in this server. I did join a new server. You don't have a med kit, buddy. I saw that guy healing. I need my damage up, so you're kind of first on my chopping block. This person's next, though. I'm doing a lot of damage. I think it's because he's far enough away from everybody to be considered alone. Nice juke. Okay. Good juke from this person. Cornered himself. You appear to be faster when you're invisible like this. So I'm trying to use that to make sure I can catch up to people. I don't know if that's exactly true, but that's what it feels like. This person's lagging. A 3-shot at 30 damage is not normal, so he was definitely considered alone. I'm gonna come out and head this way. This person probably gets away from me. I'm not fast enough to... so, you go relatively the same speed as a person unless you're in that kind of invisibility mode, I'm noticing. So you can keep up with somebody, but you're never outpacing someone unless you're invisible. Okay. People saying this monster's overpowered. I'm not quite sure. It's going to take me a couple more games to really be able to give a good opinion. I think starting really weak sucks, because if you can't catch anybody, because sometimes it's hard, if you can't catch anyone, you are going to have the most horrible time ever. But, you know, on the other hand, once you get going, once you get your damage up, it's not so bad anymore. I will say though, it doesn't seem like it adds a lot of damage to people who are alone. I still 3-shot somebody at max damage when they were alone. Normally you don't 3-shot somebody if you're doing 30, because obviously 30, 60, 90. Yeah, if you're hitting for 30, then you shouldn't 3-shot somebody who's at 100 health. Granted, they might not have been at 100 health, but I'm assuming they were. But that would mean then that I'm only adding like 5, 10 damage to my attacks, which is not that good, or not that much. So it helps, but it doesn't help a whole bunch. Is what I'm picking up. It would almost be, yeah, I don't know. It could be worse, of course. It could obviously be worse. Could not increase your damage at all. But I don't know how. It doesn't make that big of a difference, is what I am gathering. Is it just me, or is it way harder to get up here? They made that really difficult. I'm not going to be able to finish my objectives in time. This Baldy killed like nobody. Okay, well, yeah, based off that quick little game that that game I just played, you really need to get, you basically pray to God for a good start, and if you don't get one, you're gonna struggle a lot, I think. But again, more games, only more time will tell. I'll see you all next time we get into a game. Just got out of a game with Luigi Mario of the Super Mario Brothers, and now I'm going to be playing a game as the monster against Max Twiddlefinger. Very awesome. Yeah, no, very cool. Roughly similar server size, I think. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. We'll see how we do. Again, hoping for a map where I can get a good start. Honestly, I think Fazbear's Fright is going to be really strong. The mansion, maybe. I'm not too sure. Let's try this map. It's very dark. I think the invisibility ability, that will probably put in a lot of work here. Sorry, buddy, but you're low on health, and I need to get early kills. I don't want it to seem like I'm targeting people. If you're the person I hit, then I'm gonna hunt you down. Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to get the heal off. Okay. Yeah, you are quite literally like stalking people. Applying bleed is so important. I didn't realize it would take people to injured. does not kill, but once someone is injured, they go slow enough to where you can catch them. Try to catch this person off guard. I do too much damage to be able to heal from now, which is good. Okay. Sorry I'm very quiet during this. I'm just trying to like absorb as much information as I can. I'm trying to figure out what this character does exactly, like how best to use them. What I'm noticing, bleed, so important. If you're not bleeding people, you're throwing the game. Wondering what people are saying. Yeah, you need to be bleeding people out if you want your best chance at winning. You also, the speed boost from being invisible is almost necessary, I feel. The Ascension ability, that speed boost, you really need it in order to catch someone. And then once you've got someone, you're in a much better spot. But that, oh man, starting at 15 damage is just so painful. So painful. I'll maybe play one more game, and then I think once I've played one more game as Mimic, I think that'll be the last one, and I can make a decent enough judgment. But until then, I'll see you all essentially when I get to be Mimic again, or if there's a Mimic. That really sucks. Not gone just yet. Okay, now I think I can say return. I'll see you all when there's another Mimic, whether it's me or someone else. Okay. Last game coming up. I'm like the only Mimic in the server. Either nobody has Mimic or nobody likes Mimic that has them. I guess the world may never know. But I'm gonna try and be more like live thoughts and stuff. I'm gonna try and explain what I'm doing as I play, so you can kind of hopefully pick up like what's going on better. I'm gonna talk about like what I think about this stuff and what I think about the moves and the character. Same map as last time. Fortunate. I'm sorry. I had to be silent there because bro was breaking my, like I knew he was gonna do it, but it was hard to act. Okay, so I don't know where anyone is currently. You are so lucky this person's right here. Oh. Wanted to come say hi, huh? I'm gonna pop my animalistic instinct here to make sure I can see where he goes so I can catch him. Still don't have full damage and I'm struggling so much. How is this person not injured? Oh, now they're injured. I'm gonna say, like, that person was... What the... That person was so laggy. Also, I didn't do any of what I said I was gonna do, which was try and explain my thought process behind what I'm doing. Almost escaped. But, I guess in the outro I'll just kind of explain what I was doing, what was going on. Come over to my area. So that was Vita Mimic. I don't really know what to say. Do I think the character is like a horrible character and a horrible addition to the game? Not at all. But do I like enjoy playing as them? Not really. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. I like the ideas. I like some of these ideas. I like the fact that the character preys on attacking people who are alone. I like that. And I like how getting kills increases your damage. And I understand why that means your damage has to start low. But at the same time, I don't enjoy it. I think the ideas are neat. I think having like a character that is based purely on like stalking people and like stealthing and really cool, really neat ideas. I just don't enjoy the way this character plays. I think this passive is a fantastic idea. I think the debuff, pretty, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I think Animalistic Instinct, a relatively fair tracking ability. That's nice to have. It's not like free tracking like Oni Vision is. Like this is just like, does bro really need this type of thing? But this is like super fair. You're slowed down when you pop it at first. It doesn't highlight everyone, only close players, and it doesn't. Yeah, I think this is fair tracking, and this is cool. This really helps play into the stealthy, like, stalker archetype, which I think is a fun archetype and a fun idea. But this is, like, I've done kind of these, like, testing videos, starting with Forest King, all the way up to Niloticus. I've played Springtrap, I've played a little bit of Vapor, I've played a little bit of Rosemary. Don't really care much for Rosemary. I don't think Rosemary's any good, but all these characters I've played up until like Vita Mimic, I've really enjoyed playing as. And I don't know if I don't enjoy playing as Vita Mimic. It's just like, I think why I can have so much fun with Niloticus is that Niloticus has other ways of attacking people. Vita Mimic, when you only have one attack and you do so little damage, it's the same reason I don't like Rosemary. It's like you do so little damage to people that it's just like it feels kind of boring, because I'm sitting there chasing somebody down. I can't even catch them unless I'm ascended. If I do catch them, if they're not bleeding, I have to sit there and slap them 16 times, and we have relatively even stamina, so they might be able to get away if I don't have high stamina. I only barely out-stamina somebody if I catch them while I have full stamina and they have full stamina. I have to slap them, let's see, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. I have to slap them like 7 times. Because 15 times 5, 75, plus 15, 90, plus 15, 105. I have to slap somebody 7 times to get a kill, if they're close enough to another person to not be, like, debuffed by Advanced Hunter. And that is just really painful. I get it, obviously the idea is that, like, you track them, you mark them, essentially you bleed them, and that helps. I understand that. But if you are just struggling and you need to use Animalistic Instinct to find somebody, or you don't have Elder Ascension up, or you missed, that's something that's happening where I feel like I should get a hit and I miss. It's just very painful. Vita Mimic's early game is not fun enough, in my opinion, to make me want to play its late game when you're doing 30 damage and you can actually reliably get kills. Now I could see where like claims of it being really broken or really busted come from, because yes, when it's hitting for 30 and it's bleeding you and it's hard to spot, it's really good. When it's hitting for 15 and maybe it's bleeding you, maybe it isn't, and it can barely keep up with you or something like that, it's just so tough. And another thing is, like, someone with Stefano, I think, just outpaces you no matter what. I never got a chance to play against Vita Mimic with Stefano, but I think if you have Stefano, you just outpace him. And for me, this kind of sucks to see, because all the characters that I've tested out for videos have been really fun. I've really enjoyed all the characters I've played. Vita Mimic is the first character I've played where I haven't really enjoyed them that much. I don't think they're a bad character. I don't think they're a bad, like, ideas at all. I think in the right hands, Vita Mimic is probably really good. And I think there are people who will enjoy playing as Vita Mimic, but I'm just not one of them. I will say though that if like the ideas behind the character are nice, they're unique for the game, which is always good. Whenever the character has kind of unique things going for it, at least in terms of this game, that's always the best. So as long as there's more unique ideas coming to this game, I'm not gonna enjoy all of them, but I will always give them a shot because you never truly know. I just don't vibe with Vita Mimic, I think. It's not even that it's not that good, it's just, it's almost painful for me to play, in a sense. And that's why I don't necessarily vibe with it, it's just because it's like, oh gosh. Like, now I have to find people, and now I have to slap them enough times to kill them. If I don't bleed them, then I have to hit them so many times, giving them a chance to get away, and then I have to try and catch them again. But I don't have Ascension, and so I'm not actually even faster than them. So I just have to pray to the Lord that they don't have enough stamina to run away. And like another thing is if you don't bleed somebody and you find them when you're at low damage, they just face tank and heal, like, and that's just awful. Granted, they don't get stamina when they heal, which is really good. I think that's a very good mechanic because it makes face tanking less viable, but like, yeesh. I feel like Vita Mimic is one of the monsters in this game where I could see you just getting bullied because you don't have a lot of good options. Like, you get outpaced by Stefano. Most monsters do. That's fine. You get outpaced by Stefano, and then you get punched square in the jaw by like Doom Gauntlet or something, and now you have to catch up to whoever just punched you square in the jaw. Or like maybe you're on somebody and another person with a Doomfist Gauntlet comes and punches you square in the jaw, and you're sent flying away. And you're like, oh god. And that person gets to escape, and then it's rough. It is a difficult character to start with. Like, the start of your matches are going to be difficult, but if you can get through them, I think you're going to have a bit more fun. I just don't find that fun. I don't find the fact that you are only good because you snowball. You should not have to snowball to be, like, good. And what I mean by snowballing is you start off slow, you start off kind of like things aren't in your favor, but by the end of the game, you make the right plays, you turn the tide in your favor, and now things are going downhill for everyone else. So, in this instance, what snowballing would be is like, you start off really, really weak, you can't kill people really easily, but as the game progresses, and as you start getting kills, you become stronger, and now everything is much easier for you. Things are in your favor, things are looking good. You are able to kind of hinder survivors, like hinder humans more. The issue is that if you can't kill anybody early and you're on a map like the pillars with the drains, or the one with the vents and the buttons, stuff with easy tasks that are easy for people to complete, they're gonna run down your clock, and you need time is the issue. You need time with this character, and if you don't have time on the clock, that's going to be really bad for you because you need time to be able to power up. And if you can't power up, or you don't have time to power up, you just get steamrolled. There's nothing you can do. And I think that's ultimately my issue, and why I don't enjoy playing as the character so much is I don't like the fact, not necessarily that you do low damage. I love Niloticus. I have so much fun as Niloticus, and Niloticus has the second lowest damage in the game, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the second lowest damage in the game. technically the lowest once you hit max with Mimic. But I think why I like Niloticus more is not because of the higher speed, but I think it's all because of the abilities. I like having Godly Leap as an ability just because it gets that extra damage, and it's another way of getting people. And having low damage but high speed really makes it more enjoyable to chase people. Because if I'm not catching somebody, it's because I'm not managing my things properly. If I'm not catching someone as a Mimic and like I don't have my abilities, it's just because I can't. Like it's because I didn't have enough stamina. Or something like that. With Niloticus and I don't have abilities, I can still catch somebody, I can still get to somebody, I just have to be smart about it. But Godly Leap, I think, is what makes Niloticus more fun for me. It's an alternate method of attack, which keeps it from being repetitive like Rosemary, where you're just running at people and clicking with your mouse or hitting whatever the attack button is and just praying to God you hit them. Your hitbox is big enough to hit them, or your hitbox in the right spot to hit them enough times to where they die. Whereas with Niloticus, you can run up to somebody, hit them, leap at them, grab them, and then get back on top of them, keep hitting them. Or I think your Irradiated Mist is a more fun debuff for me. I don't need a debuff that does crazy damage. The low damage but tracking is so much more enjoyable for me because I like being able to set the trap. And nobody walks over it, that's fine. But when somebody does, it's just like, okay, I found somebody, I have a target, let's go get them. Whereas with Mimic, it's like, I found somebody, now I have to catch them before my ability to bleed them goes away. Because if you aren't bleeding people, it's just not. It's not it. You need to bleed people with Mimic. Whereas Niloticus, you don't need to mist anybody. Sure, the mist lets you do more damage, but it is so much easier to get kills without it than it is to get kills as Mimic without bleed. I think that's really what it comes down to, is Mimic relies on this debuff and relies on this passive, which adds very little extra damage. I think it only adds like 10. Because let's see, if it adds 15 and you're hit for 45, and you're two-shotting. So the most it can add is 15 or something around that. Because if you're adding 20, then yeah, you're two-shotting at that point. So it has to be 15 in order to keep three-shotting. Because I've hit people who are alone with max damage and I only three-shot them. So Advanced Hunter doesn't help a whole bunch. At least the first bit. The second bit is your whole existence. The whole point of what you do. You rely so much on this bleed debuff, and if you're not getting it, you are so screwed. When you do get it, it feels nice, because it's like, okay, I'll be able to hopefully take this guy out. Because if it injures them, then they're slower, and you actually catch up with your base speed. But the entire game plan is really just Elder Ascension, do I see somebody? Or no, it's Animalistic Instinct, do I see somebody? Elder Ascension, run at them to hit them. Hopefully you hit them, pray you don't miss, because the hitbox is small. And then hopefully you can continue to hit them afterwards. Because even if you're at low damage and you bleed somebody, it won't injure them, I don't think. And so you have to be able to keep hitting them to kill them. And bleed doesn't kill. So, which is fair. I don't think damage over time should kill. That would be so annoying if that killed. But I think the reason why I like Niloticus more and enjoy playing as Niloticus more, who's very similar in the sense, you're kind of running up on people, getting them with like debuff, hitting them with the debuff in a different way, albeit, but debuffing them, then catching up to them and attacking them, trying to take them out. But I think the reason I like Niloticus more is because Niloticus, if you took away the debuff, he could still get kills. If you made a radiated miss, just do something completely different. Like if it just tracked, Niloticus could still get kills. If Vita Mimic just tracked, I think it would be a much worse experience, like a much less enjoyable experience. And I think that's what really turns me away from the character, is the fact that it relies so heavily on its gimmick that without it, it is not nothing, but it is just yikes. It's like, ugh. I could not ever see myself playing this character if it didn't have this gimmick. Whereas I could see myself playing a similar character like Niloticus without its irradiated gimmick. I could totally see it. Yeah. That feels really harsh, and to end on a lighter mood, I think, once again, the ideas behind Vita Mimic, super cool. I really like the ideas. I just feel like it's not even necessarily like their fault for how it's executed and stuff, because you have to think about balancing it and making it fair. I just feel like it's not fun. For me, anyways. I'm sure it's fun for others, but it's not fun for me to have to rely so heavily on this gimmick to the point where if I don't have it available to me, I only struggle to get things done, to make progress in the game. And I'm sure you noticed throughout the games where there was a mimic involved, very early on, very few people die, because that's their hardest point in the game is early on. If you're getting very few kills, like 1, 2, you only really see people start to drop late in the game. And I'm not sure if that was probably intended because of the damage increase. I think Vita Mimic, I think I would have more fun if it didn't bleed and just had higher damage. Like, if you give it 25 to 40, and you didn't give it the bleed debuff, I think I'd have more fun with this character. I think that's really my issue, is you're just too weak, and you're too reliant on one thing. Whereas with most other monsters, you don't have to rely on any one thing to secure kills. I mean, there's also Rosemary, who I think just sucks. And I could be completely wrong, but maybe it's just because every Rosemary he is piloted by a new player who doesn't know what's going on and doesn't know what they're doing. Like Rosemary, like the 50 stamina, it's really easy to get away from Rosemary in my experience, but like none of these other monsters that I've played against, at least in my experience playing against, rely on their gimmick as much as Vita Mimic does, and I think that's why it's a turn-off for me, is because you're just so reliant on one thing. And without that one thing, it is a struggle. I'm sure if you played a round as Vita Mimic, and you didn't use Animalistic Instinct, it would probably be one of the most painful monsters to play as. But yeah, I mean, that's really my thoughts. They feel very harsh, and I feel like they're really harsh, and they probably are. But again, to brighten the mood, I think the ideas are really cool, and I'm happy they're still making characters with unique ideas. I just don't think it hits well for me, and that's fine. You might love Vita Mimic, and that's fine. I'm happy you love this character. This character could be your dream character, and that's fine. I'm happy the character is your dream character. But I don't like it. I've listed my reasons as to why I don't really like it. But at the same time, I acknowledge the fact that it's unique. And I respect the fact that they went for something new, even if it didn't land well for me. And it does not take away my excitement from whatever might be next, because whatever might be next could be infinitely more fun, or it could just be, relatively a similar experience. We have to wait and see. But, in other words, this is the end. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for ranting so long at the end. I'll make sure to put text that just says yap sesh incoming or something, so you all know this takes a while, but hope you all have a super duper fantastic day, and I hope to see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.